Randy Robison here at Life Today TV, and I am here with Andy Andrews. And people ask me, now, what exactly is he? Because you kind of do a lot of things.
I know. I don't know what I do either.
So, well, I'm curious. How do you view yourself?
Well, I'm an author and a speaker, but
Comedian?
I'm a funnier speaker. I used to work as a comedian.
Right.
I used to work as a comedian, and now I speak. I tell my wife, I say, it's not that I'm any good, it's just that nobody does what I do. Because any speaker can tell jokes, but very few people deliver serious topics with humor. So that's what I do. And
I think of you as a storyteller because you have a wonderful gift to tell a story, and you can use humor.
Right.
You can use drama. I mean, any range of emotion you've mastered, I think, and it's a wonderful gift, rare and unique gift. You have a new book out, though, called The Butterfly Effect.
Right.
And we talk about that on Life Today, so make sure you check out lifetoday.org and watch the show with Andy. But we were talking downstairs about some of the criticism your book has received.
Almost everything I do receives criticism.
That's true.
And I've come to see it as a little bit of a badge of honor, but I feel like that sometimes people don't understand what I'm supposed to write. It took me a number of years to figure this out, but what I do is I write books that Christians can give to their non-Christian friends. This is what I do, that they'll actually read. Right? Because you and I both know, as much as I like Billy Graham, you and I both have friends that if we give them a Billy Graham book, they're not going to read it.
Sure.
And so what I want to do is to write books that our Christian friends can use to give to their non-Christian friends that they'll actually read, that will create a conversation for them, between them, so that they can bring them into the presence of Jesus Christ. And this is what I'm trying to do. And because I really believe that, the Great Commission is very plain. And Jesus commanded us to be fishers of men. Well, any good fisherman knows you can't beat the fish over the head with the lure. Right? You have to make it attractive. You want the fish to want the lure. It's true, I believe. Jesus never said in the Bible, yea, though I stand at the top of your neighbor's throat waiting for you to shove me down. He never said that, right? So we want people to want to come into the presence of Jesus and to know that.
I would assume that by now you have some feedback, some stories where someone's done that with one of your books, and it's paid off.
There's so many stories like that, because this is what I do. I take the principle of forgiveness and wrap a story around it. That's the heart mender. I take the principle of God's wisdom and use that in the noticer. The traveler's gift is one where he uses stories, but even the butterfly effect. This truly talks about God's love for us, and it's true. But you can go on and you can read some criticism on some of the online stuff where say, well, you didn't say that God makes the butterfly flap its wings. It's like, well, yeah, I know, but
how do you deal with that criticism?
I want to call them up. I want to call them up and say, hey, look, I read what you wrote about me in Amazon, but I have to let that go. And honestly, I quit reading a lot of the reviews. Sometimes I read them because people will send them and I'll be into it before I know. But I quit reading a lot of them. And one reason is I realized that even reviews that I like, even good reviews, they could be wrong too. So,
Sure, even the Bible's gotten some bad reviews.
Yeah, I want some perspective, right? So if I read something bad about something I've written, I think, well, what about, let me get some perspective. So I'll look up books that I really like. You can go and see To Kill a Mockingbird, and there are people on there. I read one that said, if this is a classic, so is Charlie's Angels. Okay. But I looked up the Bible on Amazon, and the funniest thing that somebody said there, they said, the stories are okay, I guess, but the author needs to work on the transitions. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm in decent company there.
So if not everybody likes your books, that's okay.
It's okay.
A lot of people don't know what they're talking about.
Everybody doesn't like bananas, right? And so I am trying to do a specific thing, and sometimes people don't understand.
Where does the humor come from?
Well, I've had some crazy times in my life, and I know that, you know, when I was 19, you probably know this, but my parents died. My mom died of cancer. My dad was killed in a car accident. I made some bad choices, and long story short, ended up literally living under a pier on the Gulf Coast and in and out of people's garages, which is not safe or smart. But during this time, I met an old guy. His name was Jones, and Jones taught me some amazing things about choosing how we act and choosing how God wants us to respond. You know, I write about Jones in the book, The Noticer, and he called himself a noticer. He said when God was passing out talents, I didn't get the cool ones. I can't run fast, I can't sing great, but I notice little things that make a difference. And one huge thing he noticed in my life that made a difference is that we have been created with a will that is stronger than our emotions. We really can respond correctly. One night, you'll get a kick out of this, one night in January, and he pushed me in a pool. I mean, we were walking around the pool, it was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, freezing weather. I was fully clothed, had my jacket on, and he just goes, boom, and pushes me in the deep end of the pool. And I come out and I'm going, what was that about? And he's standing up there like this, and he says, come on up. So I get out and I'm freezing. I said, Jones, what are you doing? And he said, go dry off and I'll tell you. And so I did, and he sat down with me and he said, son, I'm not always going to be with you, but you got to know now that every day of your life, somebody's going to push you in the pool. And you need to determine now how you're going to come out of the water. You're going to come out whining and complaining? You're going to come out crying? You're going to come out cussing? Or you're going to come out laughing, looking for the reasons and for the benefits that God will show you if you'll just listen and if you'll just watch. What are the benefits of being pushed in the pool at that particular time in your life? What are you learning? What are you seeing that nobody else gets to see? And so I've learned, that's a long answer for where does the humor come from, but I've learned to look for the humor in things, even the bad things.
Wow. If someone wants to hear some of your humor, read some of your books, where can they find it?
AndyAndrews.com. There are several things. Any of the bookstores now have my books, but AndyAndrews.com is a great place for the recordings and that kind of thing. You and I were talking about one called My Life So Far that has the baseball story on it of the coach with the speech impediment. Oh,
that's great. Hysterical and a good point.
And and so I love doing those and telling these stories. And so there's one called Rocking Chair Classics that is stories for your family. I have a book called Return to Sawyerton Springs that is nothing in the world. I wanted to create a book that people could read to their families, that the kids would enjoy and the parents would enjoy, that they could sit around in a den and read one chapter a night, take about 15 minutes. Because, when you and I grew up, our families watched shows because there were shows that were created for all of us. Right? I mean, the Andy Griffith Show, you and I enjoyed it as children, and our parents enjoyed it as adults. But today, television and film is pretty much, it's either for kids, it's either kind of ridiculous stuff, or it's for adults that we don't dare allow our kids to watch. We're not sure we should be watching it. And so I wanted to create something that people could turn off the television and listen to together or read together.
Well, great. One disclaimer.
Okay.
The television was in color when I was a child, so Andy Griffith.
I'm older than you.
A little bit. I just don't want anybody to get the wrong impression.
And the color episodes don't even count.
I didn't know they had them.
No, it's only the black and white episodes. That first 5 years of the Andy Griffith Show when Barney was there, those are the only ones that really count.
Great. Well, if you want some modern humor that's great for the whole family and just good stuff, I mean, you've really done a great job.
Buddy, thank you.
Check out AndyAndrews.com, listen to his stories, and check out some of his books. Thank you for being with us.
I'm honored to be here with you. Thank you. Appreciate you doing this.
Great.